Have you ever considered the possibility that your best friend might not be your friend at all? Let's delve into a topic that's as intriguing as it is uncomfortable. False friendships. We all believe we know what a true friendship looks like. It's a bond of trust, respect, and mutual support, right? But what if we told you that these beliefs might be leading you into the arms of a false friend? Many of us have an idealized view of friendship, a notion that it's always about having someone who's there for you, someone who shares your laughter and wipes your tears. However, this romanticized concept of friendship can sometimes blind us to the reality that not all friendships are authentic. This is where the danger of false friendships comes into play. They're like wolves in sheep's clothing, hiding behind the mask of camaraderie while taking more than they give. They might seem like the best of pals, always around, always ready to hang out. But beneath the surface, their intentions might not be as pure as they appear. False friendships can cause serious harm. They can lead to emotional distress, self-doubt, and in extreme cases, even mental health issues. Imagine investing your time, energy, and emotions into a relationship that is unbalanced, where the give and take is skewed. It's like watering a plant that refuses to grow, no matter how much you care for it. In a false friendship, one person often ends up shouldering the emotional burden, constantly giving, while the other person takes without reciprocating. This drains the energy and self-esteem of the person who's always giving, leaving them feeling used and unappreciated. As we navigate through life, it's crucial to discern these false friendships and protect ourselves from their harmful effects. We need to remember that true friendships are about balance, reciprocity, and mutual respect. They're about growing and thriving together, not at the expense of the other. As shocking as it may seem, false friendships are more common than you might think. Consider the case of Sarah and Jane, two best friends since high school. Sarah and Jane were inseparable. They shared secrets, dreams, and laughter, but beneath this seemingly perfect friendship lurked a darker reality. Jane was not the friend she appeared to be. She was a master of manipulation, an artist in the subtle craft of control and deceit. Jane would often play the victim, using her supposed vulnerability to make Sarah feel guilty for not being there for her. She would say things like, "I thought you were my friend," or "I can't believe you'd leave me alone when I'm feeling this low." Sarah, being the caring person she was, would then drop everything to be there for Jane. Over time, this pattern started to drain Sarah. Jane's needs and demands were endless, and Sarah found herself constantly sacrificing her own needs and happiness to keep Jane content. Sarah's self-esteem started to crumble and her joy began to fade. Yet she couldn't see the harm Jane was causing her. She was blinded by the belief that Jane was her best friend. Jane also had a knack for subtly belittling Sarah. She would make snide comments disguised as jokes, or compare Sarah to others in a way that made her feel inferior. These comments were so subtle and often delivered with a smile that Sarah didn't realize how much they were affecting her self-worth. Moreover, Jane was always the center of attention, and she made sure it stayed that way. She would often overshadow Sarah, taking credit for her ideas or achievements, or turning conversations to revolve around her. This left Sarah feeling invisible and unimportant. These are the signs of a false friendship: the constant guilt trips, the belittling comments, the need for constant attention, the overshadowing. These are the tools of a manipulative friend used to control and to drain. Sarah's story is a stark reminder of how harmful a false friendship can be. No one deserves to be manipulated or used. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect, kindness, and genuine friendship. Let's delve into another case. This time we're looking at the story of Mike and John. Two friends, or so it seemed, who shared laughter, secrets, and countless memories. But as their story unfolds, it becomes clear that this was far from a mutual friendship. Mike was the ever-reliable friend, always there when John needed him. He was the kind of friend who would drop everything to lend a helping hand. John, on the other hand, was a smooth talker, charming and charismatic. He knew exactly what to say and when to say it, making him irresistible to everyone around him, including Mike. Over time, John began to rely on Mike more and more, not just for companionship, but for his personal gains. He would ask Mike for favors, borrow money, and often take advantage of Mike's kindness. He would always promise to return the favor, but that day never came. John was what we can call a parasite friend. He attached himself to Mike, drained him of his resources, And when he had sucked Mike dry, he detached and moved on to his next host. The signs were there, but Mike was too invested in the friendship to see them. He dismissed the red flags as mere quirks of John's personality. After all, nobody's perfect, right? But there's a clear line between imperfection and exploitation. John always needed something from Mike. He was always taking and never giving. He was rarely there for Mike when he needed him. And he never seemed to value Mike's feelings or needs. The friendship was one-sided, with John benefiting at the expense of Mike. When Mike had nothing left to give, John vanished from his life without a trace. He left Mike feeling used, betrayed, and emotionally drained. It took Mike a long time to recover from the damage caused by this false friendship. Mike's story is a chilling example of how false friends can exploit us for their own gains. It's a stark reminder that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people are only there for what they can get from you, and they'll leave the moment you have nothing left to offer. As we have seen from Sarah and Mike's stories, false friendships can lead to significant emotional distress. They are like a slow poison, gradually sucking the joy out of your life. These toxic relationships usually begin with the illusion of camaraderie and trust, but over time, they reveal their true colors. They're marked by manipulation, deceit, and a constant drain on your emotional energy. The impact of such friendships on one's emotional health is immense. They can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and even depression. It's like a storm that leaves you feeling battered, bruised, and questioning your own worth. So how do we safeguard ourselves? It's about learning to identify these false friendships early on. Look out for patterns of manipulation, one-sidedness, and lack of respect for your boundaries. Remember, not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Be careful with who you trust, because false friendships can lead to devastating consequences.